Hey, Nicole Roberts Jones here, and welcome to another episode of the Meaningful Work Podcast, a time that I build a bridge for you to do two things. One, do work that you love and find meaning and fulfillment in it, and be the best and highest version of you. So I've got to say, today, I think I say I'm excited every episode, y'all. I need to stop saying that, but listen, this conversation is one that's happening in every marketplace. And what's that conversation about? AI. Now, how many of you have been running from it, like afraid of it, overwhelmed by it, not knowing how to start, all the things, right? But that's what I'm excited about today's guest. If you haven't been talking about it, then let me read a little statistic for you. Listen, global enterprise AI adoption has reached 88%, up from 78% the previous year, with organizations increasingly transitioning from experimentation to scaling AI agents. So the market is expanding rapidly, driving significant shifts in economy, productivity, and workforce. And listen, if you've been asking yourself anything from how do we adopt AI and move fast without burning out your people, to how do you design systems and leaders that sustain high performance over the long haul using AI or just culture in general, then today's guest is the exact person you need. And her name is Anisa Rashad. Now listen, she's the founder and CEO of ARE Global Solutions. Now, it might be R, and I forgot to ask her, but this is a friend I've known for a long time, so I forgot, was chatting at the beginning. But anyway, let me focus, right? CEO of AR Solutions, Global Solutions, an executive leadership and AI advisory firm that helps organizations build bold leaders and sustainable cultures. With over 30 years of experience, she guides organizations in aligning strategy, soul, and AI, and in meeting compliance demands like CMMC through her Lead Boldly, Live Fully philosophy. Now, so some of y'all like, so we're going to talk about it. She's helped national organizations solve burnout while redesigning systems to hold the gain. But what truly sets her apart is this. She plans for people as rigorously as she does technology. She makes leadership sustainable and not disposable. And she brings compliance, AI, and human centered strategy into one coherent playbook. Now, y'all see why I'm getting excited, right? So, if you're navigating AI, if you're navigating compliance, performance expectations, or all three, and you want to do it without burning out your people, then this conversation is for you. And even if you don't want it, you need to learn it because at some point you're going to need it. So, help me welcome Anisa. Hey, girl.
Hello. So excited to be here with you, Nicole, on the Meaningful Workful podcast.
So excited. So listen, I was telling her before, listen, you guys, I have been trying to search someone that's an AI expert. And let me tell you why. And you know this, Anisa, and please correct me. You're the expert. I'm not. I'm somebody that researched it and know that I need it and learning about it while I'm doing this podcast with y'all, right? I think AI is the most talked about topic in the workplace now, and one that either people shy away from or they implement it wrong, or they burn at their people. And so I've been trying to find an expert, and then I saw it next to her name, and I've known her, for a long time, y'all. At least probably part of that 30 years, right? So probably 20 of the 30. But listen, I was so excited when I saw AI next to your name. So let's dig in. Tell us a little bit about. Now, I love that you said strategy, soul, and AI. What does soul mean in a technology conversation?
So, one of the things that we are very clear about, we know who we are, we know how we show up in the marketplace. So, for years and years, we did executive leadership. And so, our primary customers, like a CHRO, the chief people leader of the organization, who else responsible for making sure that people have the skills they need, keeping the culture of the organization. And what we found is that so many of them are rushing to implement AI. And what we remind them to do is stop, pause, and make sure you're keeping the HI, the human intelligence. So we're looking at protecting that part as we roll out the AI. So what we found to be even more important in this AI age than ever, Nicole, you have to have empathy, judgment, your tone. In 2 years, when every message you get from somebody, no matter who that somebody is, has been AI supported, if not fully AI generated, right? When that happens, when it becomes this big fog in the marketplace, that empathy, judgment, tone, the HI, the human intelligence that I speak about, is going to be more important than ever. And so when we talk about the soul, we're talking about keeping it human centered.
Ooh,
AI supported, we love it, but keep it human centered.
so good, so good. I love AI with HI. Come on, y'all. Look, if you haven't trademarked that, girl, you better go trademark it. It's so good. So, for organizations that are just starting out, right? What are like the three questions leaders should ask themselves when they're investing in tools or piloting AI in their workplace?
I mean, start with your head, right? What is the problem we're trying to solve, right? What is the problem? All people are so excited about AI. Companies are allocating budgets, sometimes large budgets. We'll sit down with companies who've allocated a large budget and they want to roll out on a project. And I stop them. Not that I don't want the work, I don't want the business. We're going to do something for you. I want to make sure that we give you what you need, something that's going to actually move the business forward. So, that first question is, what is the problem we're trying to solve? Then the second question is there something that's causing our people either a huge administrative burden, but maybe not giving us that much impact? We're not getting a lot of bang for our buck. It's exhausting our people, but we're not getting a lot on the back end, right? And so look for problems that you could solve that can help bridge that divide, right? And then the last thing when you're thinking about rolling out an AI project is really talking to the people who do the job. These decisions about which direction we're going to move in as it relates to AI, for most organizations, it's coming from, the IT department, right? Chief Technology Officer, CIO, is coming from that department. But I believe AI is a people thing, right? We need to shift the minds. It's a people because it's the people who are going to have to actually use it. How much money have companies spent over the years deploying some new software change management project that just went bust? We spent millions of dollars, but the people didn't adopt it. And so we came up when we first approached this work, we did it the way we do everything. We said, what are we created these four archetypes of an AI ready person, right?
Mm,
Four architects. Because if you don't get it right here in your mind, right? If you don't start with your mindset, it doesn't matter what the automation is. It
right.
doesn't matter what it'll do. If people are afraid of it, you hear people say, there's this thing that's coming. It's called AI. It's here in a lot of places. I hear it's going to take some people's job, right? Other people like afraid it might take their job, right? So that's the first archetype, that person who's just afraid. They hear about it, but they don't really understand it. And then the second archetype we have, this is the person who's curious, right? They might have Chat and Claude and, Gemini. They're like experimenting with them, but they don't really know what tool to use for what. They just kind of have a lot of stuff. They don't have a very synchronized tech stack as it relates to it. And so they're just kind of exploring. So we call them the curious, right? And then the next person, I love this person, the closet integrator. Now, this is a person, AI is a huge part of their secret sauce. They're sending emails and they're creating presentations in Gamma and they're right, but they don't necessarily want everybody to know that. They just want people to think they're smart, right?
Right. That's me. I'm out myself, y'all. I'll tell you about me in a minute, but that's me. Mm-hmm.
Your closet integrator, exactly. And then Nicole, I come from the church. My father was a Baptist minister, so like you have the evangelist, right? That's our fourth archetype, the evangelist. Will there be one, right? This is the person that screams from the rooftop, I use AI. I love it. These are the people who might be doing too much with AI. They're like going to get their lab results from LabCorp and uploading their blood work in there and saying, oh, give me a meal plan, give me a supplement plan, give me, like, they are just fully using it. So we find people at different places along this AI archetype, different levels of readiness as to where they are in moving forward with the AI journey.
Oh, I love that. And as you guys heard, I just added myself. I'm number 3 at Closet Integrator. And let me tell you, so in full disclosure, this podcast, every note, every social media post, even dare I say the questions that I generated, even though I don't ask half of them when I'm on an episode, all are AI. But here's the thing that Anisa, that I really, really make sure I do. AI is great, but sometimes it says stuff like, I wouldn't, what word is that? I wouldn't say that, right? Or it'll add some things in it that just don't feel right to me. And just because they wrote it, and it might be a phenomenal paragraph or a phenomenal sentence, it just doesn't feel Nicole aligned. I'm not saying it. So the reason I'm closet, oh, and by the way, I call AI, I call Claude my assistant Claude. Let me tell you why. Because emails, when I'm rushing, I just say, Claude, reply to this email for me. And I move on to do something else while Claude looks at all my conversations. And then I still edit it though.
Of
But
course.
right, but I really call Claude my executive assistant because he helps me, right? So
I'll tell you what I do. I tell my assistant, make Claude your assistant. Right? So do all that back and forth. So when I get to it, I only have to do one edit, two edits.
right.
I don't have to, before she give me a document, I make changes, I give it back. Then she does back and forth, back and forth. No, now you do that back and forth with AI, and then you bring a closer to completed document to me, right? Then it takes and we'll talk about this more. One of my favorite things that I love to live and speak about now, Nicole, is this concept of cognitive freedom, cognitive ease. And what AI supports for me is helping me to create that cognitive ease. And we'll dive into that a little bit later.
That's so good. We're about to dive into it now, girl. You can't look, you
Okay,
can't throw that
let's
out
do
there, not dive into it. Listen, because that for me, because sometimes, listen, y'all, okay, I'm out of myself fully on this episode. Sometimes I send an email and I want to answer it in an appropriate way, especially if it's a thank you email and I want people to feel heart and all the things. I sit on it for like minutes. And with, and so I'm not sure if this is cognitive freedom, but I feel like it gives me such a mental break that I don't have to like sit with it for so long. I can put three things in Claude, and I use Claude and Chat, and sometimes
Mhm.
Gemini, but mostly Claude
Mhm.
and Chat. So Claude is my favorite though. That's my boyfriend. That's my assistant. So Claude, Daryl, my husband asked me that I call Claude my boyfriend. But sometimes he spends more time with me during the week than my husband does. I'm just saying. So, but but I can tell him how I feel. This is one of my really good friends. I want to make her feel really, really good. She did this, this, and this for me. Write a heartfelt reply and blah, 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 give him some context. And then I'm amazed at what Claude comes back with. But because I've been using it for so long, and I'm sharing this with some of you that are shy about it, because I've been using primarily him 80%. He knows how to talk now because I'll say, here's an updated version. Just make sure it sounds good. And I do that on purpose so that he gets my language. So going
Absolutely.
forward, and I'm like, take the dashes out because that's the one thing, y'all. If you use AI, it's a dash and everything. Take them out. So now
Not the,
don't put dashes in my things. Don't send me stuff with dashes in it, right? So anyway. So I don't know if I'll attach it, but tell us about this cognitive freedom
oh,
around AI.
absolutely. We talk a lot about burnout. We have a book that was released in April called From Burnout to Breakthrough. Wait for it, Nicole. So aligned. This is why we love each other for 20 years. For leaders who have it all but still feel empty.
Mm.
Burnout to Breakthrough for leaders who have it all but still feel empty.
Okay, so wait, pause right here. Send me the link. The link to the book will be in the show notes for those of you. If she just said that phrase and it resonated with you, you need to buy the book. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. And so what we talk about is it's a leadership fable, and it's about an executive who is experiencing burnout. And as she walks through her journey to breakthrough, you're going to walk through your journey to breakthrough. And
That's
so
good.
steps, gives you the instructions, because what we believe is that breakthrough, people think, I'm burned out because I'm not resilient enough, right?
Mm.
Almost like I'm weak and I'm burned out. I know there are 4 structural drivers to burnout. 4 structural drivers. The first is cognitive overload. Nicole, how many inputs do you get during the course of one day? You understand? Cognitive, too many inputs. And then there is decision fatigue. How many things are you accountable for, responsible for? How many decisions do you need? Even like I'm looking at this beautiful frame we have, meaningful work, right? So to make the full stand out, to pick the color for that, like so much went into just that one component.
Mm-hmm.
And like you made 100 decisions yesterday, right? Down to what to wear and what to eat. And so it's this decision fatigue around having to make so many decisions. The
Mm,
third driver to burnout is administrative drag. It's all of these outdated processes we have and inefficiencies that are built into the systems that we use at work. That administrative drag contributes to people being burnout. And the fourth and final one is lack of work that has meaning, right? You're doing work and you're completing things, but it's not filling you up. You're not getting full from it. It's not sustaining you. I always talk about people really want to do work that fulfills them. And I say it fills you full, right? Fulfill you. It fills you full of things that matter, of things that are important, of things that make a difference.
mm.
That's what we want. And so those are the four structural drivers that we talk about that contribute to burnout.
That's so good. And when I look at these four, right? And by the way, those of you that are new to me, when you see me looking down, I'm writing notes too. I got already a page and a half. Okay. So cognitive, I love this whole cognitive overload. It's all of them. Just look, I write fast. Something fatigue.
Decision fatigue.
Girl.
Decision fatigue.
Admin drag is three, and lack of work that has meaning. All four of those can be solved with AI. Part of it, not all of it.
And that is, Nicole, that is how we came to the work of AI. We were working with people. We would coach you. We'd have 20, 30 people in the organization that we coach. And we reset them and we realign them and get them all restored and going back for battle, right? But what we realized, I know your background education, it was similar to education where we would send them back into an environment that didn't support them, right? The way the environment was designed was actually burning them out. And so it's like you're working with somebody at school and you're filling them up with all the good stuff, but then you send them home to a dysfunctional environment, right? It's exactly what we were doing. So depending on the person, depending on the organization, we'd work with them and they are like on fire for 18 months, on fire for 24 months, right? But then they find themselves getting back into that same depleted, exhausted, empty place. Why is that? Because the organizations are designed the way they're currently designed to burn you out. And so if you give the organization 50 hours a week, they'll take it. If you give them 60 hours a week, they'll take it, right? 70 hours, they will take it because the way the organization is designed is designed to burn you out. And so we said AI presents a once in a generation opportunity to rework the way that work works. We can actually go in and redesign things with the help of your assistant, Claude, right? With the help of all these systems that we have that can support us. And so that's what makes us excited about AI is that we can actually use it to really redesign the way work works and to stop continuing in these patterns and these systems that are burning people out.
So good. So, on that same vein, give us a real life example without saying company names, right? Of you going into a company and deploying AI and it worked well, and one that didn't work well, and why it didn't work well. And the reason I'm asking her to do this, all of you that are listening, is because many of you are on the edge. Do I do it or do I not? And I want you to see the difference it makes when you go ahead and do it. Because I'm gonna tell you before you start, I was like fighting AI for a long time. Like, I'm not using that. I'm not doing that. Right. And the more I started reading things, statistics and articles, I was like, well, let me try it. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of good. Right. So tell people, two stories, one that worked and one that didn't, but tell them why it did and why the other one didn't.
So I'll tell you a tell of two companies, right? A tell of two companies. So I'll start with the one that didn't work because that was the first one, right? And we did our lessons learned and we're not going to do that with them again. And mainly because we were new into the space, we wanted to work with this company because it was a pretty reputable, big name company. And I will say it didn't work. It worked eventually, but we had to get around it. They were quick to rush to the technology. And our AI solutions architects at ARE Global Solutions are amazing. Like they can build you something so incredible. And I'm so excited about that capability that I was like, yes, let's build them a cool tech thing, right? Let's build them a cool automation. Let's build them what they are asking for. And so it had all of the components. And that's when we learned that kind of first lesson around, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter how great it is, it can do all of this cool stuff. If you never use Claude for the first time, if you never shifted internally, Nicole, you would not have gotten the value from it. And so they led with the technology and did not lead with the people and the impact on the people. And so that was the lesson learned. So don't do that, right? And so an example of what works is now I won't even go to that. Even if we don't get the work, even if we don't get the contract, I will not start with the technology. We got to start with what is the problem we're trying to solve? Is AI the best way to solve it? Is it AI? Is it AI or should it be AI with caution? Right? What guardrails do we need to put in place? Where should there be a human in this loop? Which, like, we are asking all the questions up front before we do one thing around design or build.
So good, so good. I'm sitting here and I forget I'm a host. I got to ask the question because I'm soaking it in, and I just love everything you talk about on running AI, which is unique. And I should have known this before we got on this call, right? And I haven't talked to Anisa probably in good maybe 5 years, maybe three.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, is this human centered? Everything is human centered, and you're the first person because I've talked to other AI experts. That's why the other ones ain't on here. Let me say that are so technology driven, which for me is like want want. Y'all remember that from Charlie Brown? Want because I am not a techie, right? So that's one of the reasons why I hadn't done AI at first because I was a little and overwhelmed. And so every person that I have tried to talk to, I was in overwhelm. And I thought if I'm in overwhelm, then my listeners might be in overwhelm too. And so not knowing this about you, I love that you have really brought the human piece in it so we don't leave the people behind. Right?
Absolutely.
So good. So good.
Absolutely. We every month we host a CHRO Insights Roundtable. So we get CHROs on the line from around the country to talk about how they're rolling out AI in their organizations. And what's beautiful is when we first started meeting, everybody would get on a call and think, "Oh, my company is behind," right? As we started having the conversation, they realized that people, large companies, small for profits, nonprofits, people were in all different places. So it wasn't a behind. The other thing that we discovered in this conversation that we have every month is that most organizations that outsource it to IT, like we talked about it, but I help them to understand that you got to be right at the table. When we're first formulating the plan around AI, HR, whoever the top people leader at your organization needs to be at the table helping to make those decisions.
So good. So good. So, for all those that are afraid that they're going to lose their job because AI is coming, guess what? It's not coming. It's here, right? What advice would you give all those that are afraid of AI taking their job?
So this is what I stand firm on. You are not going to lose your job to AI. You are going to lose your job to someone who understands how to use AI to do what it is you do. You understand? So it's just like the equivalent. It's the equivalent of this, Nicole. Remember when email first came out? People were like, "Oh my God, those postal workers." If we start sending emails, all of those postal workers are going to lose their job. Like, listen to that in 2026. It sounds preposterous, right? Like it makes no sense. And it's kind of the equivalent. If you are in 2026 saying, "I'm not going to use AI because of this or that," you got to. It's where it is, it's where it's going, and it's just sticking your toe in the water. I love, because I am an evangelist, will there be one? I spent time when I went to my college undergrad homecoming with my sorority sisters' parents, 84 and 86 years old, sitting there with them, moving them from the place that AI is the reincarnation of the bad person, right? Like, no, to like having them find a practical application for their life. So I used it on their phone. So I helped them download ChatGPT for the first time on their phone and had them do searches around things. And before I left, she said, for weeks and weeks, they would call her and ask her different questions about AI. She said, "No, Anisa opened this can of worms. call Anisa and have her explain. She said, "Why did you get my parents on AI? They are hooked." But isn't that beautiful that at 84 and 86, they
Yeah.
can find practical application for their life? So I'm telling you, if they can do it, if you are coming anywhere along the ranks, you can do it too.
That's so good. And even as you just told the story about email, right? I remember y'all, okay, so I'm out myself. It must have been 1996, and I had just started grad school. Now, mind you, I was an older grad student. Everybody else was probably in their early 20s, and I was in my late 20s. And I was scared enough, Anissa, that they said everybody takes notes on a laptop now. Laptop? I don't have a laptop. They don't take notes in a notebook. You know, I already felt old because of that. Then they kept telling me they mailed my whatever it was. I can't remember, registration, whatever. And I was like, I didn't get mail. They were like, email. I was like, okay, I didn't get the mail, right? Because I didn't hear the E in front of the mail, right? I was an old
Right,
student.
right.
And for months, I fought it. Like, can't you just send it to me in the mail? Like, I was not trying to learn email. And I remember when I finally realized that I went to USC. USC, I had my own email address connected to, because I was like, I don't even have an email address. And they were like, yes, you do. It's whatever it was at usc.edu. Oh, and I remember when I finally got on, how easy it was. But I had been blocking my own self because I didn't know, and I had been using the antiquated way at that point of what I had already known how to do. And so I think this conversation, and I'm saying this with love, as Michael Jackson would say, with LOVE, is it's not about you not knowing, it's about how will you learn to do it in a different way. How you continue to do what you're doing, but it's almost an expansion of you being able to do what you do in a way that's going to add value to your role in your work.
Absolutely. So I say, if you are a filmmaker, learn how to use AI to make films. If you are a person who does whatever it is you do, learn how to use AI. If you're an educator, learn how. I have educators who are using AI to help their kids write little books and stories about their families and produce books. Like, they're doing all kinds of creative things to introduce their students to AI.
So good, so good. So we've talked. Listen, our time is almost up. So good. I can go on and on because AI is my new like jam that I'm excited. By the way, any classes you recommend, please tell me because I'm still, I want to learn more because now I'm all into it. So with that, anything you didn't get to say that you want to leave our listeners with that are at this AI crossroad?
Oh my goodness. I'll close with this, and it's around, you should use AI to help you create that cognitive ease, right? And so one of the ways that I'm using AI personally is I created my lead boldly, live fully, my philosophy around how you show up at work and how you show up at life. I believe you should be able to do both. You should be able to lead boldly inside the boardroom, but also live fully and show up for your family and friends outside of work. And so, with that, I created a lead boldly, live fully wellness coach. And
Mm,
Nicole, let me tell you what I did. I took, there's so many people who talk about health and fitness and wellness, but I have certain people that are my go-to people over the years. I just stick with them. I don't care what new ideology. I know that this is basic and it works. So I took the four people that I found. One is more around longevity. He's a Harvard professor who talks to David Sinclair. He talks about longevity. And so I want to live a long time because people in my family don't live a long time. So that's one. I took one who talks about just eating clean, right, without the gluten and the dairy and all the things. So I took the four people that I follow and believe in, and I said, with this philosophy, this, create me a wellness coach. And so
mm,
I use it to get meal recommendations. I use it. I went to a rooftop. I live in Tampa now, so I was at a little rooftop. I'm a part of the Rooftop Society here in Tampa. And I was at the event, and everything was going on, and it came time to order food, and I was like, "Do I want this?" And I hit up my wellness coach, and my wellness coach just said, first, I was trying to decide what to order. It was like, "Are you hungry?" And I was like,
mm.
"I'm actually not hungry," because what did I do? I had planned and eaten a meal before I left that was aligned with how I eat, so that I wouldn't be caught out there having to eat whatever is on some menu. And so I was like, huh. And as a person who self identifies as a foodie, it was very interesting to sit there and really see that I did not want anything, but I'm just so used to to doing it, right? I'm just so used to doing it. So my wellness coach is really helping me. I wouldn't even say just shift my behavior patterns. It's helping me shift my identity as I relate to food and health and fitness. And I love it. I love it.
Mhm. And it's just that simple. It's programming it and then having that resource available to you. So thank you for being a resource available to all of us. By the way, those of you that need Anisa in your or need ARE, I'm glad I said it right, global in your, your corporation and your company, especially my CHRO people. Because I got a lot of y'all that listen. You will see the link in the bio. And here's what I would suggest: have a conversation, because you don't know how she could help you. Now, individually, she's not coaching. I don't think you do individual coaching, do you, Ralph?
Our firm still does coaching. We have a whole team
Okay.
of amazing coaches that can
Oh, there
support
you
you
go.
guys.
So then she can support you that way too. So thank you for your human centered design around AI, making sure we don't leave the human intelligence behind. Thank you for all that you're doing. And thank you for showing up and being here with us today, girl. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Anytime Dr. Nicole Roberts Jones calls me, I am always answering the call every time.
That's a good story these sisters do, girl. But I'm just saying. So
That's
with that,
what I'm saying.
don't get me started. Love you, girl. So with that, y'all, you know what I'm getting ready to say. I want to hear what your takeaways are. This is one of the big topics of the year. Was been for a couple years, but I think I'm finally catching up. So my question is: are you finally catching up? Are you ready to implement AI? What's the one thing you're committed to doing to get into the AI race, right? And then again, in the show notes, if you need support, reach out. Let AR Global Solutions, if I'm saying the right name, but y'all know it'll be in the show notes, support you, right? So I want to know the one thing you'll learn and one thing you'll implement. Second, share the episode. Somebody in your network definitely needs this insight, right? And with that said, join us for our next episode. Thank you for being here. Bye, y'all.